Hello and welcome to Sports Betting Illuminated, where we play with the house and not against it. I'm your host, Ariel Calista Miller, author of Sports Betting Illuminated, an AI-powered path to profit. Sorry guys, I'm a little excited this morning to give you guys some picks, and boy, I have a lot of them that are looking really good today, so I can't wait to dive into that. And of course, this book outlines my strategy on exactly how I've been able to get an ROI anywhere between 30 to 40. We've already seen so far over 50% in college basketball season after season across multiple sports leagues. And this book highlights exactly how I do that. Plus, I'm super stoked to announce that I am going to be releasing a sports betting course very soon. So it will cover everything in this book and so much more. Plus, you'll be building your own AI models at the very end of it. So I love that. The same tools that the sports books use. Hey, good morning, Chuck Science. Good morning, Brian. Let's have a winning day. Hey, David. It's so nice seeing all of you this morning. I'm so excited that you wanted to wake up and spend your Saturday morning with me. And let's have a winning day. I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but we have been on fire lately. Seriously, I don't know anyone who's winning this many basketball picks in a row. I mean, I haven't seen it in another handicapper, and I certainly haven't seen any AI, ML like bot that people are trying to sell you, a scammy sports betting bot on the internet. I certainly haven't seen any of them perform as well as we are doing right here, right now, this week. And for those of you who are tracking all of my bets, of course you could get this every single day delivered to you for free just by signing up for my free daily emails at arielcalista.com. Click the Stay in Touch button. That's it. That's all you have to do. You'll get my picks of the day, sports news, all the line movements, and you also see pictures of me every day. Get all of my fresh sports takes on everything. So it's a fun email. You'll always get a laugh. It's also very informative. There's a health corner as well, a coaching corner where I really dive into betting strategies. And all of this is such important information. And I think there's something for everyone in there, whether you're a beginner or you're a professional gambler. There is something for you. Or even if you just like to look at a picture of me, it's got that too. Alrighty. So nice seeing everyone this morning. Before I dive into my plays of the day, and I have some good plays today. We have been on the hottest of hot streaks, just hitting every single basketball play. I mean, this is like it was 11 in a row. Then I hit all my plays yesterday. I mean, we are hot right now. But before I like to make all of my picks and predictions, and of course this is a live stream, so any games you'd like me to analyze, feel free to throw them in the chat and I'll analyze them live on air. But before we do that, let's dive into some cannabis today. Today, I am smoking cherry pie because I like to sit back, relax, and get my mind right to win some wagers. That is nice. Cherry pie really just hits like nothing else. It's sweet. It really has that cherry flavor and undertone to it, which I am such a huge fan of. Plus, I love when the cannabis is sweet tasting. Like, that is my personal favorite. I like it more than the really skunky stuff, or, well, the peppermint stuff really got me that one time, but the cherry, it's very yummy. Especially the NBA. You're right. I mean, 100%. We have been crushing it in the NBA. It's been a streak like no other. So I'm going to keep these plays coming while they're hot. Absolutely. That's what we're doing here today. And I feel really good about all these plays. I really do. The lines have been super solid. I have seen a little bit of regression today. The lines moving back a little bit early. So there were quite a few plays that I was looking at initially that I dropped. Some of the lines have been a little slower to develop. So that's why I didn't send out my morning report already. So make sure to click on the stay in touch button and sign up for it, because it will be going out after the show. And hopefully some more numbers will really show up and solidify by then. Right now I'm kind of watching and waiting. I have an early play, but a lot of these plays are also later as well. But before I dive into all these plays, one more hit of this cherry pie cannabis strain. I really like this a lot. It's a mixture of Granddaddy Purple, F1 Derb. So it's nice. It's really like euphoric, and it makes you feel giggly, happy, all of those good things. That's how we're starting off our weekend, right? That was a big hit. Any hockey plays I like today? You know, I haven't really been playing hockey seriously. Yesterday was just a great play that... Wow, $500? I love that. I love that. Congratulations. So, you know, these hockey plays are really only ones. Like, I haven't done a lot of units in hockey this season. As you know, like, I'm really cherry picking these games and these plays. There just hasn't been anything that stood out in particular to me yet so far this day. I mean, I've been spending a lot more time in the NBA, college basketball, NFL, to be honest. Sometimes spreading yourself too thin as a handicapper could also be dangerous. It doesn't allow you to fully analyze all of the games. So the only games in hockey that I'm really playing right now, and that I'm advising you guys to play, as well as you see in my daily reports that you're winning. I mean, our ROI in hockey right now is, just so you guys know, it's currently 45.2%. But then again, it's a 65.5% win rate. So not as high of a win rate as some of my other plays, but a very high ROI, which is return on investment. But this is only on 29 units. So I haven't been playing a ton of hockey, and really nothing popped out to me today. The games that I'm playing in hockey right now are really just ones that stand out in particular, and my AI model just hasn't pulled anything today. Like, it really has to pop out for me to say that this is a play, especially because it's not like a super main focus for me at this moment. But you know, football, you know, things are slowing down, and oh my gosh, you're over a 50% ROI on my hockey plays. They are super solid. I'm glad you guys are doing so well. I mean, this is what success should look like. When you guys are writing in here, taking these plays, winning some money, you know, making good plays in the future to really build up your bankrolls and become profitable sports bettors. That's what this show is about, and you guys are the proof of it. So I love seeing that. Of course, please always come in here with your comments, showing the love. Like, I love seeing this happen, because that's what builds our community, and the proof is in the pudding. If only I was keeping all the wins to myself and I wasn't sharing it with you guys, like, what kind of sports betting community would that be? That would suck. All right. Well, let's dive into some football. So I don't really have like a bet that I'm like super strong on. I'm just gonna give you my analysis on these games and really what the lines are doing. But right now, I'm not really feeling super strong about either of these games, to be honest. So tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, Commanders are playing the Eagles. Well, this is really interesting. Yeah, I mean, there does seem to be a lot of hype on the Eagles. I'm in Philadelphia right now, and it is like Eagle craziness. You know, I turn on the local news. Everyone's got the Eagle shirts. The kindergartners are learning about all of the Eagle players in school. Like, someone who grew up in Las Vegas without a sports team, like, this is very new to me. Like, it's almost like a cultural like thing that I haven't experienced in my life. So I love seeing it. I love seeing the passion here. But this is one of those interesting games where the spread is moving, but you know, my model is also not really like aligning with the spread at this very moment. So let me dive into this. And yeah, I mean, it's currently, okay, wait, so this number has shifted. No, it hasn't. Okay. Yeah, so the Eagles did move a little bit in the right direction, just a little bit. I mean, just a little bit. It went from -5 to -6 on mixed money. Now, there is some Commanders money coming in on the spread, and, you know, Vegas did move against some of this Commanders money, which is interesting. It's like Vegas thinks that some of this Commanders money is a little bit of Joe money, but, you know, personally, at this moment, taking Eagles -6, this is again where my AI model disagrees. My AI model had them at -4.5. I don't think -6, moving them out this far, is a play I would go for at this point. It's too far out for me, and you know, to even nudge this line back a little bit to -4.5 or -5, it's just, the house is going to be taking too much of a cut, and it's really not like worth, you know, like what you could make on it. So I don't have a play there now. And you're leaning under 48 in this Eagles game, which, you know, I do see this line starting to creep under a little bit. It did open under 48, and most spots actually have it under 47.5 right now. But there is level 2 over money. But considering how Vegas is moving against this money on the over, and how they're moving the line from 48 to 47.5 against this level 2 money, just indicates that this money is very Joe on the over. A lot of Joes are playing the over, and we already know that's kind of a trend with the Joes. Joes love overs. But I just don't really like this because it only moved half a point, and that's not really meeting my parameters right now. This line is tight, and I know Vegas is happy with it because otherwise, you know, they would have moved it more. So I think this is one of those where the number is just really tight at this moment, and you know, under is definitely a safer play than over. That's all I'll say, but I don't have a bet in this game. Now let's analyze this Bills-Chiefs game. So this is a little bit later tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, by the way. Now, the books are pushing this line in the right direction for Kansas City. This clearly opened up -1.5 and went to -2, even though there's level 2 money coming in on the Bills. That's quite a bit of money, and it's very steady money coming in on the Bills. Books are pushing towards Kansas City, moving this, but the only really, I mean, when you look at it, it's only a half a point on the spread. Even though it's moving in the right direction for Kansas City, it's just not a big enough move, and it's too tight for me. I think the books really have this line dialed in, and they don't really want to move it, but yeah, I don't know. It's just too tight. It's too tight. I feel the same way with the total here as well. This total opened 48, went to 48 and a half. You know, there's level 2 money on the over, so there's lots of money coming in on the over, and Vegas is actually agreeing with the money coming in on the over. And in all spots, it's basically 48 and a half right now. I don't think anywhere's moved it to 49. Let me just double check. Yeah, everywhere, like across the board, it's 48 and a half. Like, they are holding this so tight. You're not moving at all. Right, they are moving slightly towards the Chiefs, but it's half a point, so you know, I see how Vegas feels about the Chiefs, but everything is just really tight to the line. But now you know how Vegas is moving in both of these games. They're moving in the right direction for the Eagles, but I just don't really see this because my AI model has them at -4.5. They're moving a little bit towards the under in that Eagles game as well, but it's still only half a point. And then this Bills-Chiefs game, they're leaning a little bit towards Kansas City. But it's still really tight. It's only half a point. And then even here on the over, it only moved half a point. So very subtle line shifts. I think there's a lot, as a professional gambler, there's a lot more interesting stuff on the board. Where Vegas will be taking more of a stand, but here it just looks like they're holding everything so tight. But I do sort of see, you know, like I'm seeing the outlines and shapes of where they're leaning. Yeah, lots of motivation to balance these numbers. 100%, you're 100% right, Chuck Science. Yeah, there isn't anything solid. If Vegas really felt strongly about one team or another, they would take, or an over or under, they would take a bigger position and they would move it more, but we're really looking at half a point here. That's 100% right. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those cases where they're happy, you know, making percentage off of everyone. Of course, that's what the sports books do. Like, regardless, they're going to make money. And yeah, parlay players, you're probably seeing that a ton right now. All of the sports books, I'm sure. I don't really get these types of notifications in particular. Hey Spencer, good morning. I don't really get a lot of parlay notifications in particular because I don't place a lot of parlay bets in sports betting apps, and also like when you're really on a hot streak, they don't give you away. They don't give away anything to you, seriously. But every once in a while, they'll try to convince me to play a parlay, and I'm sure it's worse now than ever. When you go into these apps, just be really careful because parlays, we've already seen this. Like, looking specifically like at the New Jersey sports books, we've seen how much profit, I did a whole video on this, how much profit they're making off of the parlay players. They are breaking even on the straight players. They are really not making that much money from the people placing straight bets. All of the profit that these sports books are making, that they're using to constantly advertise to you and email you and text you and post videos on TV and be across every social media platform targeting you, all of that money is coming from their main profit center, which is parlay players. So just remember that as they're really like advertising and pushing these parlays on you, there's a reason why they're doing that. And yeah, I mean, because I don't even play parlays, I realize, oh, like the deal that some of these sports books are having, if you lose one leg of the parlay, they'll just give you your money back. You don't even get the full parlay, you just get your money back. I mean, okay. Yeah, thanks. It's really important that you guys know this about parlays. And now I have some NBA college basketball plays for you guys coming right up, but let's get right on into the 2-minute drill. I think you guys are going to find this really interesting today. So let's get started.
When you're discussing NFL trends, it's really tempting to lean into compelling narratives such as Patrick Mahomes has beaten Josh Allen 3 times in the playoffs, and no quarterback has ever done so 4 times. But this is a classic example of how an emotionally engaging storyline can overshadow the reality of data analysis, especially in sports. Here's why this argument is not only misleading, but is also irrelevant. First, the sample size is too small to draw any meaningful conclusions. 3 games between Allen and Mahomes represent an exceedingly small data set in the context of their careers. NFL playoff games are influenced by countless variables: team rosters, coaching strategies, injuries, weather conditions, and even luck. To reduce these games to a simple head-to-head stat between 2 quarterbacks ignores the reality that football is a team sport. Neither Mahomes nor Allen play defense, and they rely heavily on their supporting cast. The outcomes of these games reflect more than just the quarterback's performances. Second, citing a never happened before statistic about quarterbacks beating another 4 times in the playoffs falls into the trap of overfitting a narrative to an anomaly. Historical trends only hold weight when they're rooted in broad data sets with consistent patterns. This so-called trend is not predictive, it's just coincidental. The fact that no quarterback has ever done it before has zero bearing on whether Mahomes can do it in the future. Past occurrences are not constraints, they are simply snapshots of unique circumstances. And finally, focusing on this narrative distracts from a more substantiated analysis of team matchups and game strategies. It steers the conversation away from data-driven discussions of player performance, offensive schemes, and defensive alignments. Using a small, irrelevant stat to build up drama for the game undermines the credibility of sports analysis. In summary, relying on a small sample argument is flawed logic and just lazy storytelling. True analysis digs deeper than surface-level stats and avoids cherry-picking anomalies to support narratives. Let's elevate the conversation by sticking to meaningful insights. And remember, while it is more than possible that the Bills beat the Chiefs this Sunday, it won't be because of the dreaded magical 4th matchup.
I hope you guys enjoyed that little 2-minute drill. And there are so many stories being put out there right now. I'm sure you guys are reading them. Thank you. Exactly. You have to watch out for this. These stories are simply being put out there to build up drama and interest in a game so that more eyeballs are on it, more people are talking about it. People have something to talk about. But when it comes to gambling, know how to play the game like a professional gambler. And that means not just following what all the Joes are listening to, but looking at real data and applying statistics and mathematics to it. And that's how you become a professional gambler in today's day and age. That is how Vegas is doing it, simply put. You know, sports stories, they're great. You know, they're fun to read. They're fun to talk about with your friends. They're fun to debate about, but at the end of the day, don't put your money on the sports writer that's out there writing these articles, whose job it is to just drum up interest in a game. Use your money, it's your hard-earned money, so place a bet in a smart way. And that's what I'm here to do. Now let's discuss some of these NBA games. because there are a couple plays that I really like. I agree. It's fun to talk about these interesting statistics and, you know, coincidences with your friends and your family, but the real joy, especially for a professional gambler, is in winning. It is about increasing your bankroll and making sports betting a profitable endeavor for you. Now let's talk about some totals. I think you guys are really gonna like these. I like a couple of overs in the NBA, and let's go. I know you love playing these overs, and we have been hot in the NBA. I seriously have not seen anyone as hot as me. If you could find someone out there, I'd love to see it, seriously. Now, first game I'm looking at is between the Bucks and the Clippers. This is at 10:40 p.m. Eastern, and I am loving this over. This total opened up at 221.5. It moved out pretty early to 225.5. Then it went out even further to 226.5. Right now, there is level 5 money on the over. Vegas and the money are moving in the same direction here. They are in agreement with each other. That's why I really like this play. It's moving in the right direction, and this over is looking very solid. This was a very big move. It's sitting at 246 already? That doesn't sound right. What? I think... Oh, not that game. Okay, I was like, that doesn't sound like it went... I'm like, it could have moved up that fast. Is there something I don't know? One of them. Yeah, I mean, it does sound like a pretty high total. So, yeah, I like the over here. It's moving in the right direction. I liked it when it moved to 225.5 in this Bucks Clippers game. There was level 5 money on it already when it moved to that. I saw it move out even further to 226. I still like it. This might even be a potential ladder spot, if anything, if you wanted to push this out a few points. This might be the spot to do so. I personally just like it as it is right now and like the total over. But if you're an action player, you know, you know what to do, but still be cautious because this already did move a lot from the open, which was 221.5. Now I also want to discuss the Pelicans versus Hornets game. This is earlier at 7 o'clock Eastern, and this over I like as well. This opened up at 225. Then it moved out to 228.5, and there's level 4 money on it right now. So as we see with both of these overs, these are following very consistent patterns. They opened up, they moved out pretty fast, pretty early, and there's also money backing it. So a lot of sharps are hopping in on the over in both of these games as well, and Vegas is agreeing. They are moving. The sharps and the house are moving towards the over. It's all going in the same direction, and you know I love to see that. So that's why I like the over in both of these games. I think these are very solid plays, and you've already seen my NBA records. We're hitting all of these plays. Solid. So lock these in. I like it. Let's go. 2 overs for you in the NBA, and I have some college basketball plays coming up that I can't wait to share with you. But first, I wanted to dive into some cannabis headlines for the week and just discuss some fun things that are going on in the cannabis news, maybe some not so fun things. But let's start on more of a lighthearted, promising note, and that is that they are finding in hemp scientists are finding in hemp that there are different properties in hemp that act as natural pesticides. So we all know, we've seen these videos, at least I've seen these videos of, you know, giant crop fields where they're just spraying, I mean, they're taking planes and just dumping pounds of like synthetic fertilizer onto all of the crops and produce that we eat. And, you know, it's unhealthy. I wash all of my food very thoroughly. But we also know that pesticides, especially synthetic pesticides, are oftentimes linked to cancer or dementia or Alzheimer's or, you know, various other things that can affect your body over time in detrimental ways. And, you know, a lot of people out there want to live healthier and they don't want the chemicals in their lives and they don't want forever chemicals that stay in their bodies. And these are things that we're currently using as a country, but we, and it's because, you know, nature has created pests. That is something very natural. It has always existed, you know, since the first fruit trees, you know, there existed bugs to eat it. Of course. So we've tried to find ways to, you know, really prevent, you know, get the most food out of our crops and, you know, prevent all of this stuff. But just like everything, nature also has the solution that we're looking for. It has the problem of, you know, bugs like to eat food and, you know, microbes also want to eat food, but it also has the solution too. And the solution is that in cannabis with hemp, you can actually basically coat these fruits and these crops with natural pesticides. It's natural. It's not going to harm the crop, and it's definitely not going to harm the person because it comes from a plant as well. And cannabis is very safe and very healthy for us, and we know that by the 35,000 studies conducted on cannabis with public funding, our taxpayer dollars. I like that. We do Arian overs. We're definitely going to hit that. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and I hope that we really can embrace this new method of, you know, having better products, healthier, safer products to eat and consume in all of our bodies just by using hemp. And they've only tested a few plants so far, like tomatoes and certain types of other plants, but they found that it's very effective. So I hope we could really, you know, have this on a scaled level so that all of our food could become safer. Now, another headline that I want to talk about is he's the acting drug enforcement head, DEA agent head. You know, so he hasn't been appointed yet, but now this guy, Derek Maltz, is saying that cannabis is a gateway drug. I feel like this is so repetitive since Reefer Madness. Like, he's basically quoting Reefer Madness, and he's saying that it's actually causing psychosis, schizophrenia, depression, and anxiety, and that people will continue buying cannabis from cartels even after legalization. Okay, this is the same guy that blamed cannabis for school shootings. I just don't really understand what decade he crawled out of, but it's definitely like he's not living in 2025, that's for sure. And we have so much research, so much science on cannabis. In fact, I've personally seen how Delta 8, how it actually has cured people from very serious depression where nothing else was working. And taking some Delta 8, you know, this girl was able to start laughing again and having a good time. And I mean, truthfully, she's probably still alive today because of Delta 8. So, I mean, cannabis has so many benefits. All you have to do is literally talk to people to realize all of the benefits of it. And just trying to project like this reefer madness, like nonsense, it's just so dated. And it makes me really frustrated that these people are sitting in positions of power when we have researchers, we have scientists, we have people who are very knowledgeable, business owners, people who are very qualified to sit in these positions. And then we're just letting these people who literally crawled out of the Reefer Madness movie dictate to us what we should be thinking about cannabis, and we already know what Americans think about cannabis. We know that over 60% of Americans want cannabis. They want legalized cannabis. They want cannabis to be available because we believe in the freedom of choice, of being able to do what we want to do. Like, if we want to consume cannabis as adults, we should be able to do that because that's our freedom of, you know, like living in a free country. Like, we should be able to make decisions for ourselves without our government telling us how to think, or, you know, how to, or what we need to do when every poll has shown this is what we want. Listen to the people. To me, it's very simple. All you have to do is look at the polls and listen to the people and allow the people to make their own choices about, you know, what they want to consume and what they feel is harmful to society or not. We have liquor stores everywhere. Why is cannabis such a controversial issue? I don't think it should be. And finally, a new poll also showed that more American adults use cannabis as a sleep aid than choose prescription sleep aids or alcohol for help falling asleep. So this is another great thing if you have trouble falling asleep. It seems like everyone out there is now using cannabis and would rather have the natural alternative from nature. It's from a plant. It grows out in nature. They'd rather have the natural alternative for sleep than become addicted to sleeping pills, which have so many harmful side effects. And you know me, I'm a huge advocate on, you know, living healthy and exercising and having, you know, like really a clean, healthy life. And cannabis is a great way to do that, so you're not getting on sleeping pills and having side effects, becoming part of big pharma. So that's how I feel. Let me know in the comments if you have any cannabis headlines you'd like to discuss further. But now it's time for some college basketball. I am really excited to dive into that. We did really well yesterday. We were having a little bit of a cold streak, but we definitely righted the ship. And let's dive into some college basketball plays. All right. So first I want to discuss SMU versus North Carolina State. This game is happening very soon, so it's 11:38 right now. This game is happening at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern, so make sure to lock in your bets early on this game, of course. I really like how this spread moved from -1 to -3.5 on mixed pro money. Yeah, this was a very big move. You know, I like seeing some pro money coming in here as well. And wait, this is weird. I'm looking at it right now. Okay, guys, hold up. I'm looking at it right now. It does look like it's pulled back from -3.5 to -2.5 in some spots. -3 in other spots. Okay, so this is why I'm glad I'm checking these numbers in real time, because sometimes these lines change, and in college basketball today, I've seen a lot of lines really move out far, but then they've pulled back a little bit as I keep checking this. So right now, I would say, you know, moving from -1.5 to -3.5 back to -2.5, or even -3 in some spots. I like this play as it was developing earlier, but yeah, but a point is a death sentence. I agree with that. A half-point buyback isn't that scary all the time. I'm gonna check some other numbers here. There is still a ton of money coming in on SMU. I mean, I still see pro money in here. I'm just looking at a few other spots. I don't know, guys. Yeah, I like this one earlier. I highlighted this game as something that I liked. But as I've already seen today, a few of these plays, the lines have pulled back early on. I noticed this as I was pulling some games for the show earlier this morning. And I see this happening right here, right now. So this big of a move backwards, I would stay away from this. So I liked it earlier. I'm gonna back off of it right now. Yeah, it's getting bet big. I mean, that's what I see across the board. I've checked like a few other major sports books that have been established in Vegas for many, many, many years. And all across it, I see SMU is getting bet like a lot, pretty consistently, but they're moving the line in a wrong direction. And normally I would say, okay, but this is too much in the wrong direction. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna cancel this play out. Yeah. Well, I do have one other college basketball play that I do want to look at. Let me just double check this line since everything is moving so fast. But I was looking at the Hawaii game. Ooh, okay. I still like this. Yeah, I still like this. So I'm looking at the total here in this Hawaii versus UC Irvine game. This is at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and I like the over here. Over's looking really good. It opened up at 135.5. Then it moved out to 138.5. It's sitting steady. It's holding steady, really steady at 139.5 right now. But you could line shop around and even get it at 138.5 in some spots I see. So sitting very steady, and there's also a lot of money behind it as well. This one does look very solid, I agree with you. This looks like a great lock in college basketball, but you know, even for those of you signing up for my free daily emails, you know, make sure to watch these lines because sometimes things do fall apart, and if it falls apart too much, you want to back away for sure. So yeah, that one I would say looks very solid. Now, yeah, I guess I lost a play for today. Let me look at the Lakers game that you mentioned. Give you my analysis on it. Some of these numbers have been very slow as well, so it's been today. Like, why is it on Saturdays everyone's up and betting? Okay, this is interesting. Okay, did the Lakers open up as an underdog? I'm having trouble loading a little bit of the early lines right now. But just looking at this, at least so far today, I've seen it go from -1 to -1.5. I like how this is developing. Sitting at -1 in some spots right now. That's pretty interesting. And there is a little bit of money developing on the Lakers. So I like to see some of the money developing. Personally, to watch the lines, I check across multiple sports books. So I like to look at, you know, some of the more older, established, biggest sports books that have been around for a while. And you know, I look at those lines, I look at how they're moving, because regional sports books tend to move lines more in the direction, I mean, it gets a little wonky, but when you look at like Vegas sports books in real time, then you can really see their line movement. Yeah, so I check across a few different sports books at the same time. You know, like I'll look across 3 or 4 of them I'll compare it with the early lines, and then, you know, I'll also look at, you know, what the money is doing at the same time. Hey Super Pro, good morning. Yeah, I think they might have mispriced it, correcting, but it does seem like some solid money is developing on the Lakers, so I could see this as a potential play. I'm gonna put this on my it's developing list, and keep your eye on it. It's good seeing you too. Those are super solids. I agree with that. Those are super solid sports books, and there's so many more out there as well, but yeah, those are great places to start. And just check across it because you'll see what the lines are doing, and then, you know, depending on how advanced you want to get, you could really start, you know, pulling these numbers in like through a machine learning model and, you know, gathering the data in real time. The under in the Pacers game. Okay, so that's sitting right now at 231 and a half. There's not like a ton of money going into it, but I see it opened up at 235 and a half. So that's a pretty big move towards the under. So yeah, 235 and a half to 231 and a half. Even though it's not really on a ton of money, this does look like a pretty big Vegas move. So I like how Vegas is moving this, and they're not really moving it with a lot of money backing it. So this is a sportsbook move, and I like seeing that. Good one. That's a good one, Victor. You have a good eye there. That is very possible. Yeah, some of the online sports books, you know, even though they try to like mimic a lot of the Vegas numbers, I feel like, you know, looking at even money, public betting money and everything is very, you know, misleading at times. So you have to really be careful what resources you use and make sure that you're using reputable resources as well, and checking across multiple resources. Like, I know it's more work to check across multiple websites and multiple sports books, but sometimes the key to success is putting in the hard work, and that's kind of what my whole success equation boils down to. But let's go over the games that I like today and wrap everything up, because it is almost time for these games to start. So I already told you tomorrow I don't really have any bets that I like so far. I see a little bit of movement in these football games, but nothing really I like there at the moment. You know, I like the over in the Bucks-Clippers game, the over in the Pelicans-Hornets game. Bucks-Clippers is sitting at 226 and a half right now. Lots of money pushing this. Vegas pushing this. I love that. We have been crushing the NBA. I feel another great day coming on here. And the Pelicans-Hornets game, another over, sitting at 228 and a half right now. Also on a ton of money, and another huge sportsbook move. I feel very super solid about both of these games. SMU game, like I said, that was on my list. Cross it off. Sometimes you see play developing and you just can't pull the trigger, but I do like this Hawaii UC Irvine over. It's sitting at 139 and a half right now. I'd grab it right now before it moves any further, because it opened up at 135 and a half, and I think this is just going to keep going. So I like this over a lot here. I'm leaning a little bit on Lakers spread. This might be developing. Keep your eye on this. And also Victor, good find with the under in the Pacers game. I like that. That is a big move. Even though there's not a lot of money backing the under at this moment, Vegas is backing the under at this moment. So I like that. I like that you pulled that play for me to analyze. And that is all I have for you today. Those are all of my games. So of course, if you would like to sign up for my free daily emails where you see I do all of the line analysis, sports news every single day, my picks of the day, pictures of me every day, and so much more, sign up at arielcalista.com just by clicking on the Stay in Touch button. Also, thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning with me. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe, follow my channel if you haven't already. Let's get our subscription numbers up. Let's grow this community. I love seeing you guys writing in. I won $500 on that hockey play yesterday. You know, I'm getting a 50% ROI with your plays over here. You guys are amazing, and we are building a great community here, so please share this with your friends, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and you know, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell your family. Let's build this sports betting community to be even larger and more successful and have everyone winning together by playing with the house, because this could be a win-win scenario for everyone. That's how I see it. Simple game theory, right? Alright everyone, my next show will be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I can't wait to see all of you there, so make sure to subscribe, follow along, turn on your notifications, sign up for my daily emails, and I will see you there. Thanks for spending your mornings with me, and good luck on all of your wagers today, everyone.